What's good, y'all? It's me, Chris, back here with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the constant bombarding of reboots that Hollywood is shoving down our throat. Like, I have a good gag reflex, but damn, this is a lot. But before we get into that, if you like, you can go ahead and follow me on my other social media platforms. Here is my Twitter, and here's my Instagram. And while you're here, you can check out some of the recent videos I posted. A few days ago, we talked about WAP by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. Before that, we talked about the Emmy nominations and how they refused to nominate any trans actors from Pose. And prior to that, I posted a video just discussing trending hot topics. So please go ahead and check those out. Today's video, we're just going to be talking about reboots and the Fresh Prince of Bel-air specifically, and just my thoughts on a lot of the reboot and the constant retelling of stories in Hollywood. So yesterday, The Hollywood Reporter reported that a Fresh Prince of Bel-air reboot is in the works. Ain't y'all tired of reboots yet?
Can you come up with something else? Can you come up with something else?
Before I give you my opinion, let me go ahead and just give you the tea. So about a year ago, a content creator, filmmaker by the name of Morgan Cooper created and directed a trailer that reimagined Fresh Prince of Bel-air as a dramatic series, and it was titled Bel-air. This trailer that he had created went on ahead and got over 5 million views and garnished the attention of a lot of people on the internet, one of them being Will Smith and his production company. So now Morgan Cooper will be joined with Chris Collins. He is a writer-producer. He worked on The Wire. There was a Crash series on Stars or Showtime, as well as Sons of Anarchy. And those two together will be co-writing the series. Morgan Cooper will be directing and serve as a co-executive producer, and Chris Collins will run as will be the showrunner on the show. So I just want to give you guys a quick synopsis of the show, what they imagine this to be, this new story. So Bel-air is described as an hour-long dramatic retelling of the beloved 90s sitcom that leans into the original premise of Will's complicated journey from the streets of West Philadelphia to the gated mansions of Bel-air. With a reimagined vision, Bel-air will dive deeper into the inherent conflicts, emotions, and biases of what it means to be a black man in America today, while still delivering the swagger and fun nods to the original show. Will Smith, Quincy Jones, and Benny Medina, who the original series was loosely based on his life, will be serving as executive producers, and they are shopping this around to be on a streaming network like HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu, if you will. I'm pretty sure that Will Smith, Quincy Jones, and Benny Medina are only joining for the sake of having the name recognition, to be able to therefore have that cachet to push the project and get it actually on a major network for it to be seen by the masses. I want to break down this discussion into 3 points. The first thing that we're going to be discussing is Morgan Cooper as a filmmaker and this project Bel-air. The second thing I want to talk about is just how viable the Fresh Prince of Bel-air really is as a project that can be rebooted. And the last point I want to discuss is reboots in general. So I do have a lot of thoughts, and y'all probably will disagree with me down below, so I want to start off with a positive. So I just wanted to do a little digging about Morgan Cooper and who he is and get a feel of what he's into, and I went ahead and checked out his Instagram page. I had never heard of Morgan Cooper prior to this news. I also didn't even know that there was a trailer that existed reimagining Fresh Prince of Bel-air. So when I first heard this news, before I had any real developed thoughts, I went ahead and checked out the trailer. Y'all, this trailer is so good. I'm going to link it in the description down below, so y'all go ahead and check it out. But it is sleek. It is very well done. The man clearly got a budget. He clearly got some money. Somebody is funding his projects. He clearly got some type of cachet in this industry. It is really, really, really good. Still very familiar, and you feel the environment of Fresh Prince, but it's definitely told through a whole new perspective, a whole new lens. I love how there's a lot of intimate in your face shots. It's very reminiscent of Barry Jenkins film style. If y'all don't know, he was the director of Moonlight and If Beale Street Can Talk. It's like these very direct face shots. It almost like showcases the beauty of blackness. It's just like, oh, I can tell Barry Jenkins loves black people. And you kind of get that feel as well from Morgan Cooper. Like, the man is no doubt talented. You can tell he has an eye, he has a perspective, he has a story that he wants to be told. And big ups to the man. I'm happy that he is getting some type of recognition and that he's able to finally get that he's able to get put on finally. Like, that's good for him. I'm very, very, very happy for him. You can tell that the man is talented. You can tell that he has vision and he has a direction. Good for this man. I could see why Will Smith definitely sees this as being a viable project that will definitely garnish a lot of attention and money and opportunity for and lots of interest of people in the audience. Like, I get it. I can see it. So now I just want to talk about like how viable Fresh Prince really actually may be outside of the hype of this trailer as something that can be rebooted. So this show first premiered in 1990. It was Will Smith's first huge acting gig. Prior to that, he was known for being in a rap group with Jazzy Jeff, I believe. He ended up appearing on the show. The show went on for 6 seasons. It was a huge success, very well known, and in the households of so many families. Huge iconic moments and characters that are revered and beloved by so many viewers. There's not a single character on the show that I don't imagine has a huge fan base, and people can find some one character in the show to heavily relate to. I mean, the show had so many monumental moments, like that dance scene when Aunt Viv went into the dance studio and killed it. Showed that age doesn't matter and neither does your skin color. We had the Carlton dance move. Like, it's so unusual to be loved by any. I mean, we could remix it. We could slow down. That iconic move. We had Ashley's coming of age stories. I don't know if y'all remember when she's in the cafeteria singing that song, and then Will Smith and Carlton are like her background dancers. We also have just had that one of the most recognizable scenes with the Aunt Viv scene is that powerful conversation that Uncle Phil and Will are having, talking about like fatherhood and manhood, and Will's being super vulnerable, and Uncle Phil just comes in and gives him a hug, and Will's allowed to like cry and be vulnerable and emotional. Great stuff. Into that I say, I don't know why we need to retell Fresh Prince of Bel-air, quite frankly. I just see that there's going to be a constant comparison. Like I said before, there's so many, all the characters are very well known, very well revered, have had huge moments on the show that people can draw and relate to. So I kind of see as this being an unfortunate setup for the actors that are going to be portraying these such iconic characters. Like, to me, Fresh Prince of Bel-air has iconic characters just as maybe Friends would. I'm not that into Friends. I never watched that show, but imagine 10 years from now, like trying to recast the Friends cast, trying to recast them, and there's going to be constant comparisons because, quite frankly, these actors that were on the show Fresh Prince of Bel-air took their craft so seriously that they were able to create original, complex characters. It was imaginative. At the end of the day, these new actors coming on to try to portray these actors, these well-known characters, it's really just going to be a caricature. It's not going to be as authentic and as fresh as it would be for actors to be able to really sink their teeth into some type of new story, an opportunity to flex their skills and for a new audience to see what they are capable of. I really do think that for the actors and a lot of the writers, unfortunately, I just think that there's going to be too much of a comparison constantly being drawn, and I don't think that they're going to get a lot of breathing room for them to be able just to showcase their talent and expertise in the storytelling of Bel-air. Now I want to get into my last point about how I personally feel about reboots overall, and quite frankly, I'm just tired of reboots. I'm so tired of them. I really feel like too many times they rely on name recognition and the feeling of nostalgia to really get in viewerships, and to me that's lazy. And it just seems like such a instant cash grab when really we're so unimaginative, and I think when we constantly focus on reboots, it just makes us stagnant in the type of stories that we can tell. Like there's so many new stories, so many untold stories, so many new characters and new environments that we have yet to explore and depict on the silver screen and on the small screens. Like take for example, I just watched this great documentary on Netflix. It's called Disclosure, talking about trans representation on all facets of media and how much we failed them and how much transphobic was throughout all types of form of entertainment. And we have an opportunity now to use our resources, to use the information that we have to do them just, to show their humanity. Instead, we're wasted on a really well, highly acclaimed, recognized, well received show that still exists. You could go on plenty other streaming platforms and find Fresh Prince and watch it even in the more like higher quality. Like that's a thing now. You can go and still have an enjoyable experience watching Fresh Prince. But instead, we're using our resources on rehashing old stories that have already been told before. And I'm just tired of it. I really feel like the only time I could see like exceptions to this rule would be like adaptation. So if a book or a comic book is being adapted to a movie or a television show, that gives it opportunities for us to see visuals, that gives us more breathing room to see the character. We can see them moves in ways that we've never seen them move before, bring their whole existence to be fully realized. Like I'm down for that. Also down for like cartoons being adapted to live action. Say for example, I would love to see the Jetsons be adapted to a live action film. When that show came out in the 60s, there was just a lack of technology with live action, so they had to heavily depend on cartoons. I mean, at that time, like video chatting was not even a thing. Now we can like depict that in real life. There's just so much technology to be able to advance that story and so many visuals that we could see. Like I'm down for stuff like that. But as far as like just rehashing stories that were told in the recent history, I don't really see a point for it. Like take for example, there was this TV show called Special. It aired on Netflix. It was a comedy series and it focused on the life of a gay man with cerebral palsy. Now, it wasn't that good. It relied too much on like tropes and internet lingo and also AAVE, but the concept was original. That's not my experience. That's something that I've never seen on television short before, so I was intrigued into that. I think for me, when I started realizing that reboots were just not going in ways that I thought that they were could go, was last year when we got the live action Lion King remake, and it wasn't bad, but was it necessary? No. It was in no shape or form better or even as good as the original version. There was nothing in the original version that I could see needing a recreation of. It's a masterpiece in itself. The only great thing that we really got from the Lion King remake, in my opinion, was the accompanied album done by Beyonce and her team titled The Gift. That album is flawless. Y'all know now there's now visuals for it on Disney Plus. Black is King. That's it. I just feel like people are honestly too caught up in wanting to create like iconic moments, having like this huge impact. I think constantly people are really worried about like their legacy, and we're losing the need, the drive for having like authenticity, to have creativity, to have fresh perspective. Show me something that I've never seen before, and then we'll determine like how big it is, because that's what it is. Like it's always the audience, it's always the response of the audience that dictates how well your show does and how impactful it was. Not you as a creator. You as a creator, you focus on the storytelling, you focus on being able to connect with an audience. That's all your objective should be as a content creator. It's just to create work that's going to connect to people. And to me, all these reboots, it's just relying too much on a feeling. And for me, that also is very hard to create, because you have to take into consideration what type of trajectory you were on personally, what was the what was the current society. There's so many factors that contribute into Fresh Prince being like a feel-good moment for all of us that I don't really think that's gonna connect it being told in a relevant story now. And while like I said earlier, I'm really happy for Morgan Cooper. He is very talented from the work that I saw. I'm telling you, go watch that trailer. I do think it's a really good trailer. But for me, I would have loved to that being like a stepping stone for him to create his own original work and ideas. Like I would have loved to see that be more like an audition, right? Like, oh, let me see what you can do, something that's familiar to me, to see like what type of vision you have going, creating your own stories, creating your own ideas. That's what I want. I just want to see more of people's experiences that are not my own. We've seen a lot of the same stories. Let's tell some new shit, okay? But yeah, that's all the thoughts that I have for this video. Please leave all your comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys think. I did the same chair setup again, so y'all go ahead and let me know, do y'all like this filming setup? Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the Crispy Noah family if you like, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!